Just a Sister thing. I am Kala, and you are trapped in my crafty corner. Okay, so, and I'm sorry for the nails. I've been working outside all day. Okay, I wanted to talk for a minute about DigiKits. I buy a lot of DigiKits. I enjoy them. And I have produced one that I'm going to put on Etsy. But I wanted to take a second and talk about using DigiKits versus not using DigiKits. I know that there are a lot of purists who honestly, they would never think of touching a DigiKit. They just want all literal junk for the junk journal, scraps and found items. And I get that. I have done that as well. There are, in my opinion, I've done junk journals that are junk, and I've done them that are almost like 80% DigiKits embellished with junk. And now that I've done this for quite a while, I actually am at the point where I kind of enjoy a little bit of both. My reasoning for that is, especially when you're doing like a specialized book, like a Book of Shadows or a grimoire, is you actually still need very specific things, and that are either symbolic or that they are very representative of what you are trying to create this junk journal for. If you're doing a junk journal that is going to be a planner, whether it's a bullet planner or just a regular dated planner, it's easy to print out a planner page and then embellish it with all of your junk. I really enjoy handmade, well, all the little ephemera embellishments, antique photos and stuff like that. So that being said, this is what I'm doing. I needed a wheel of the year that I could put into all my junk, all of my Book of Shadows and grimoires. And I have a distinct, the way I like things to look. I have I have my own eye, my own opinion, and so this is what I have created. This DigiKit is strictly for that purpose. So am I going to embellish it? You bet. But I also needed to get the basis down for the inside of this. So my Wheel of the Year is going to be not one, but, you know, as thick as it is, it's 48 pages. It's going to be 2 or 3 different signatures. So that being said, let me go through this real quick. You know that we have the 8 holidays and the Sabbats. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to encapsulate the primary reason for these. I wanted to do a description. I wanted correspondences, and this is just a beginning jump off. It's not set in stone, but it's kind of the way that I look at it. So altar, ritual, each one of the 8 holidays has these 6 sets of papers, right? So what I wanted to do was I wanted to show how I construct it, because I probably do it a little differently by trial and error to a lot of people. So I take my 8 holidays and I lay them out, and these are the 8.5 by 11 sheets. So I lay out my holidays, and this is how I envision it. I just walk through it. This is how I want you to flip pages. I could have double printed this, but I was worried about bleed through, because this has it has a lot of dark colors throughout this these 2 or 3 signatures. I haven't decided how many I'm going to do. Probably 2. So I didn't want to double print it, because I didn't want print on the front, print on the back. I didn't want any risk of bleed, even though I have fairly heavyweight paper. So what I like to do is I like to take 2 pieces of paper and I put them together, and then I sew them together, and then that becomes my page. So I'm laying this out to explain that I don't want to film it. I'm going to go ahead and sew these together and then come back, and then I'm going to construct the signatures, because I do that in a little bit different way. I'm not sure if I showed that on the last giant book of shadows that I did. Okay, so that's the 8.5 by 11s. In my little kit, this is something that I sorely wished I had had from other kits that I had bought. And so I decided when I ever made my own kit, finally got around to it, that I was going to do it in a way that it could be printed out as complete signatures for the 5.5 by 8.5. So it's 11 inches, but it's 5.5 inch pages, because we all have a tendency to do the smaller Book of Shadows and grimoires and junk journals. So what I did was I basically followed the same principle. And it's going to take a hot minute to assemble this. But one side is going to be like, this is Lita, and this one looks like Lunasa, or Lunasa, however you say it. Don't want to step on any toes. So when these pages are sewn together, and you can see I'll have to trim a little bit, your signature, when it's folded, which naturally I picked up all the signatures at one time, and I probably shouldn't have done that. Let's see if I can get to the end of this. So I got Letha, and I made this to do in 2 signatures, because honestly I didn't feel like it was too much. Okay, so when this is folded, I'm only going to briefly do this because I actually don't want to put creases in it until I get ready to actually press it out really hard, because I've got to sew it. So I want it to be neat for now. So what will happen is, the way that I have printed this, it will flip open, and then you're still in Letha. Then, I don't know why I say it like that. Somebody stop me. Then we got Altar Ritual. And then we've got Notes. And then we go immediately back into Lunasa. Or Lunasa, however you like to say it. So then you'll flip through those. And it's all in order. And this is also a personal choice for me. I always start with Samhain, and I move into Yule, and then so forth and so on. So if you like to organize your Book of Shadows differently by date, then what you would have to do is cut each one of these apart, and then just stitch them back together in whatever direction you want. But I designed this so that it would start with, there it is, with Samhain. Okay, so we got Samhain on one side, and I think, I forget what I have on the other. And then we have Yule. So it'll flip open like this. And then you'll have Yule, and then you got the Ritual. Then obviously not that, because I was just cutting my papers, so obviously I'm out of the correct order. But as I sew them, I'm going to put them back in the right order. But you can see that it's going to give you these holidays in the correct order. So I'm going to start sewing, and then we'll come back and we'll put them together, and I can explain it maybe a little bit better. I don't know that I'm explaining it very well at this moment. And also I have the little page flippers. I love that. Okay, so hang in there. I'm going to go sew these.